the shift that happens in that one client, they will go out and interact. And if their vibration level has gotten increased, just by even a 15-minute tarot card reading or angelic card reading, if their vibration increases in that 15 minutes, they go out and affect 10 people, 20 people who go out and affect others. So a lot of times healers think, what good can I do? Just seeing a half a dozen or a dozen clients a week, a lot. A lot. You know, even when you start doing, you guys come here every Sunday, and the information that comes through me, you're not really coming to see me, you're coming to see the information that comes through me, and you take that out to you all week long. And even if you sit here for a whole hour and you don't hear anything but one word, one small sentence that resonates with you, and all of a sudden your consciousness has shifted and your vibration has raised, even that is a significant reason to come and go out forward and be present with just that slight change. And what I'm being told is the exponential effects, even if you come here and one thing that is said by either me or a guest speaker or somebody else who asks a question, or the music that you hear or something in the meditation, if it shifts you, it can actually start a chain reaction of other things that shift even after you've left here, and it's kind of like a domino principle of connecting the dots of things that start shifting and the after effects of what happened. This is a time when we're moving really, really quickly, and the healings that are happening, have you noticed that the healings are happening quicker and they're shifting through things at lightning speed? And what used to take 5 sessions is now taking 1. And it's sticking longer. And people are taking larger strides. The speed is just phenomenal. I mean, it's amazing to think how much faster it could go, isn't it? It's kind of exciting, really, when you think about it. And we have the responsibility to keep up. And keep up with our trainings. And I was describing to someone the course I'm teaching this weekend and how much information is going to be packed into 3 days. And somebody said, how can you teach that much stuff in 3 days? I'm like, I don't know, but we are. And it's what's going to happen in 3 days would normally be taught over the course of 10 or 15 courses lasting weeks each, but it's just happening so much faster now. And really, if you think about the technology that we do now, I mean, look what we have in a tiny little bitty phone that, you know, and I'm going to give my age away here, in the early 80s when I started working the computer thing, a 10 megabyte drive was the size of a washing machine. You know, and now we have, 60 gigabytes on a little jump drive. So if you use that as a relative way of describing, this is how much faster information is getting processed over what we're doing now. And that's why I always encourage you and urge you to govern your thoughts and recognize how psychic you are. Because the clearer you get and the more pure of a vessel you become as you start abandoning your negative thoughts, the things that you think and the things that you create carry out in waves so much faster and so much farther. Would you agree?
Yes.
How much we really need to start thinking about what we're doing. And what are some of the effects that you've seen with your clients recently? They're different than the ones you've seen in the last couple of years, aren't they?
Yeah. They're very much changing. I do know that that the message that I get so much from them has to do with choice and making decisions. But I have seen exactly that. People tend to get things quicker and to move on more quickly. I want to say the healing is deeper and
more permanent. More lasting.
Yes, and more lasting. Absolutely. And I also notice that they move into a place of much more joy in whatever they're doing. That's another real great part of the process of personal growth, of healing, transformation, however you want to label.
People moving out of paradigms that have severe depression or ideas of being introverted or shame or guilt, or for me personally it was anger. I used to go through a day, and a normal day was I would get angry 15, 20, 25 times in a day. and that was my normal state of being. And I can't even remember what that feels like. I can kind of look at it like a video camera, and I can look at a day and realize I used to be that way, but I don't even remember what that feels like. It's so foreign to me now. I mean, I get annoyed maybe once or twice a week, but I mean, I used to get really angry all day at the kids, at the dog, at work, at wherever, on my parents, sisters, telephones, cars, tires. I mean, it was a state of being for me that I didn't even know there was a different way to be. And I think that's what you and I are probably noticing a lot with our clients, is they're stepping into paradigms of peace and joy that they didn't even know was possible. And coming from places where they may not even realize they were depressed or realize they were living in a state of anger, because it was such a natural way to be. For me personally, I just assumed everybody was that way, because it was so natural. I just assumed everybody was that annoyed, and I think people who were depressed assumed everybody was depressed. And we're waking up. We're getting into a higher consciousness now of realizing there is a lot of inner child joy to have. There's a lot of playfulness to have. And it doesn't mean that you're shirking your responsibilities, because when you do things without all the labor of the negative emotions, you get them done faster. I'm noticing now that I get all my work done here at the center in much, much faster times. And I went home last night and I said, or this morning, I said to Adeline, I said, I accomplished something yesterday that I encourage all of you to accomplish. I have 0 emails in my inbox. Can you believe that? I actually negotiate. I either deleted, filed, delegated, replied, and at the end of the day, I had 0 emails in my and I get 100 emails a day. But it was the ability of me deciding, was it really important? Am I holding on to this for any kind of reason? Am I afraid I'll forget? Am I afraid someone's not going to do it? Am I afraid that they're going to come back and tell me something different, and so I've got to hold on to the email as proof that it was this way? It was all fear-based. And it was really, just something as stupid as letting go of all of your emails, it was really liberating to decide that I could get rid of them all. And I felt so light with it. And I called out and said I'll be home by about 1 or 2 in the afternoon. It was like 7 o'clock when I got home. He was waiting for me all afternoon. Sorry about that. But it was great. It was such a liberating thing to decide that I didn't need to hold on to all that information. And so whether it's your filing or your emails or your client or your work, or whether it's junk in your house, anything you can do to feng shui it. I feng shuied my email inbox last night. It was it felt so much lighter and freer. And things are coming faster, I think, for everybody in every ways, yeah. Yeah, what have you noticed in your life that's so much faster? So now you gotta go home and dump all your emails in your inbox.
I just noticed that the time during the day, I'm up, it's 1 o'clock, it's 7 o'clock. It's just, and I'm like, what? Oh my goodness, what happened to the day? And so, hopefully that speaks to maybe I'm a little more present, because sometimes time goes faster when you're very present with what you're doing. But it is also that real time, and with people we talk about that a lot, how quickly things are going. Very quickly things are going. Yeah. And with all these changes, I would like to add, I see a lot with my clients, because people are moving into new paradigms, and I'm seeing a lot of changing jobs, changing relationships that are more, that fit the person, that are much more authentic. So people are in big transitions now as well.
That's true. This idea of buying the house and having a family and having a career, the idyllic thing that the 50s and 60s embraced after World War II, people are moving away from that. Still being family-oriented, and in fact healing more family relations and coming back to more family values. But one